Hi guys, I just wanted to do a quick video. So if you weren't aware, the full Modern Horizons spoiler is up and it is live. I wanted to give you all some of my thoughts on the best cards to pick up during this next weekend's pre-release for Oathbreaker. So I tried to choose stuff that wasn't as straightforward like Sarah and Ren and 6, simply because, yes, they obviously will see play because they're possible Oathbreakers, so yes, they are going to show up. Rather, I want to go through the other type of cards most likely show up in our format. Most of these will probably end up being super cheap with the exception of our number 1 and number 2 spots, so I just thought it would be interesting to kind of just put my thoughts out there.
First, we have some honorable mentions, cards that I'm sure will show up, but not because they're any better in Oathbreaker than they'd be in any other format. The first honorable mention is the playset of Talismans, because they provide enemy color combinations with rampant growth. 2-mana ramp in this format is exceedingly good given how fast the games can be, and I'm sure these are going to show up in a lot of decks going forward. Our second honorable mention is Prismatic Vista. This is just a generically good card, given that we're in a singleton format, and it's just an extra fetch land. Optimized land bases are going to want this, as well as any deck that runs 2 or more colors. Anyway, without further ado, let's get to our actual list. Number 5 on our list is Generous Gift. Universal removal in white is crazy strong. This is literally a white beast within and fulfills the same role. Given its ability to remove any permanent of any kind without issue, it's going to be really strong and show up. Now, the reason this isn't an honorable mention versus the ones I previously mentioned is because while it is generically good, it's not generically good outside of more casual formats like Ours or EDH. For example, you're not going to be seeing people playing playsets of Generous Gift as a modern staple because at 3 CMC in 1v1, it's a little slow. In a 4-player game, the equity of universal removal at 3 mana instant speed is very high. You can remove whatever problem permanent you need, be that a walker, a land, or a creature, and you're giving your opponent a 3/3 white elephant. So that sounds like a lot of fun to me. Number 3 is Winds of Abandon.
Chocolate.
Peanut butter.
Hey!
Oh, hey, you got your chocolate and my
You
peanut
got
butter.
peanut butter on my chocolate.
What?
Delicious.
Winds of Abandon is a fantastic removal spell, acting as Path to Exile number 2 in your decks, but more often than not, you're going to act like a hungry dude making a sandwich and just overload it. Winds of Abandon is an excellent one-sided wrath for creatures at a fairly reasonable cost. 6 converted mana cost is getting to the point where I'm hesitant about its consistency, but the non-overload cost of 2 makes me feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of it. It's not quite the new Cyclonic Rift, but I bet we'll end up hearing a lot of fantastic, almost got him stories because of it. Number 2 is Sword of Truth and Justice. So the protection from blue and from white is not irrelevant. It will come up. The buff is fine. I mean, I'm not going to turn down the ability to staple a bear worth of stats onto my creature, but really the strength of this card in our format versus, say, Commander is this. In Commander, this can go in any deck, but you really need one that cares about something with counters to fully benefit from the proliferate beyond just making the sword wielder or another creature big. As opposed to Oathbreaker, where we will always have breakers we can proliferate, and therefore always have a worthwhile target. I feel like the equity of this sword is so much better in our format than in Commander that it's actually worth keeping an eye on. Now, is it any surprise what number 1 is? Number 1 is Sword of Steel and Sinew. Now, I've heard rumblings and grumblings from different modern players that the sword is the most disappointing. And from a modern or even legacy perspective, I definitely can see it. Heck, even in EDH, being able to blow up 2 permanents that you may or may not see in a given game is bad. That said, the card's real power is its protection from black and red, at least in Commander, but sadly, that isn't enough in order to push it over the top for a lot of people. If you could consistently use one of its 2 removal abilities, it'd be a slam dunk. Luckily, we have a format where that is a reality. This card is easily a staple for any Oathbreaker deck looking to swing creatures, and heck, even ones that aren't. The protection from black and red will be relevant, as these are amazing spot removal colors, and red's way of dealing with creatures en masse is damage. If one card out of this set has the strongest chance of becoming an Oathbreaker staple, that is to say, it transcends multiple colors and archetypes, it's going to be this one. I'm never going to feel bad stapling this to a Snapcaster Mage, or even shelling out mana to equip it to a land to swing, because I know I'm going to be getting value every single time I swing with it. So, while this isn't an MTG finance video, I do want to close with a few side comments. First of all, always buy the cards you want and build the decks you want. It's about fun, okay? That said, looking at this from a cold hard perspective, I don't think picking up the Mythic Swords right away at a higher price will be beneficial. If you can get them below whatever the pre-release market is, or specifically below 10, go for it. People will buy these on the merit of them being swords, so these feel like very low-risk pickups. That said, the downside is that as it stands now, these will not have much room to grow outside of EDH and Oathbreaker. I expect a trajectory somewhere between Sword of Body and Mind and Sword of War and Peace. I don't see Death and Taxes running these ever, and there are no archetypes in Modern that want these right now, so keep that in mind when making your purchase decision. It may seem like I'm being contradictory, but ultimately the decision on these comes down to you, and I want you to be fully informed about the risks involved with going in on this type of investment for the game. If you can get, that said, if you can get any of the other cards in foil for a reasonable price, I would, because they will show up in at least EDH, and obviously that's a format that has a demographic that likes running foils. Generous Gift in foil, Winds of Abandon, these are all going to be solid foil pickups for the future. I don't see them not being played, and if you like them and they make your deck look nice, I say go for it. Anyway, I could gab on all day about MTG Finance and the implications of Horizon, but I'm sure you'll see a bunch of other people tell you about that, so there's no need for me to go into that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And do me a favor, leave a comment and tell me what you think the best Oathbreaker card in the new set is, and what deck you're excited to run it in. I genuinely value your guys' input, and remember to roll safe, have fun, and don't forget to break some oaths. Not your bank.